All right, so Facebook. Screen is black. Everybody's saying the screen is black. So let me try. Okay, so let's try screen sharing on the Keynote. Okay, how does that look? Is that working any better? What are people seeing when I put this on the screen right now? This should be a picture of somebody holding a mobile phone right now. Yay, it's a mobile phone. Okay, so at least we've got something working. All right, so basically, let's see what everybody else is saying on the Facebook. Where is Facebook gone? So is there still nothing playing on Facebook? So I recommend everybody needs to get into the Zoom. This is why I put the most of the effort into the Zoom right now. Let me give you the link to the Zoom. 1 second. We will work this out, guys. We're not gonna let technology defeat us. Okay, let me give you the link for the Zoom. Close that down. Go to Facebook. Go to write comment. All right, so there you go. Have a click on that link and then see how you get on. See if you can come and join us in the Zoom, because honest to God, every single Friday has been an absolute nightmare getting Facebook Live to work. And I think it's just because everybody's online at the same time. All right, so let me check who's coming in the room. Don't want that one. We are good. All right. So I'm just waiting to let everybody come and join us on the Zoom. Okay, we got some new participants coming in. Yep, here comes Kathy, here comes Gordana. Yes, good to see you, everybody. Welcome aboard. We are going to start from scratch again. We are not going to let technology defeat us. We are going to get through this no matter what. Okay. That's Kathy and Gordana have joined us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you're now seeing the screen, hopefully, where we've got a guy holding a mobile phone, yeah? Can we just confirm that we have visuals? We've obviously had audio all the way through, but can we just confirm we've got visuals? You should be able to see a guy holding a phone, and then maybe a picture of a video of me rabbiting away on the side as well. Yay! Okay, that's good. Right, let's get on with it. So I'm not going to repeat myself because I know that you heard the audio. Basically, here's a visual of the map, and here's a visual of the person holding the phone. Here's a visual of them in the garden center, and here's the visual of that place where the video was going to play. So the reason why it cut out was because in order to play this video, I have to go full screen. But as soon as I go full screen, then it cuts out on Facebook Live for some reason. So life is like that right now. Okay, so for those people who saw it on Zoom, there was a nice little video that showed up there which was basically a bit of animation. You could see the demonstration of the Tilly project box, where they had created this kind of project box where they put in some fir cones, some pine cones, some fir like branches of fir, some ribbons, and some, you know, all the different things, so people could pull all the elements together and make a beautiful kind of Christmas card made of natural elements. Or it wasn't even a Christmas card, it was like a Christmas bauble type of experience with a candle. And so rather than selling it as is, they sold it as a kind of piece of craft box. And that video demonstrated that you could put that craft box together using all this lovely piece of equipment, and it's a nice thing to do. So even though the bits and pieces in the box would have cost a couple of pence each, ultimately they were selling it for about £10 as a project box or something. I'm not sure if it was £5 or £10, and they got completely sold out, and they had to stop running the ads because people were traveling for miles to come out and experience the fantastic project box. Okay, so the next question is, how the hell did they manage to do it, especially with only a budget of $1.99? And then the answer is, it's all happening in the mobile studio. I'm just letting Kathy back in. She must have nipped out for a fag. I'm joking. Nipped out for a cup of tea, or got knocked off by technology, more like. All right, so now we get to the meat and potatoes of the Facebook mobile studio. So as you know, Facebook owns Instagram, so you can have two bites of the cherry, basically, with sending out content that goes from Facebook into Instagram or Instagram into Facebook, and you can set up the ads within Facebook to go to Instagram as well. Kathy says she's just switching to her iPad. That's quite all right. Very acceptable. So it's very good practice for most businesses. There are not any businesses that I can think of where you only want to concentrate on Facebook and not Insta, or vice versa. I just don't even think it's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, when I start introducing people onto using Instagram, they normally want to jump onto it more and more because of the fact that when they put up content, there's a much higher engagement rate. So for those people who've been in business for quite a while, they'll know that, you know, in the early days with Facebook in business, it was quite exciting because, you know, you would always get, you know, people commenting and lots of engagement and stuff like that. And then from about 2017 onwards, suddenly it became like crickets. You know, you would put up all kinds of content and then there would hardly be anybody commenting, sharing, or anything. And it was just like a desolate type of place. So people began to realize that you're going to have to start using the ads. And then they started using the ads, but unfortunately they didn't know how to use the ads properly. So then they were throwing a lot of money at Facebook and not getting any results. But anyway, so now we are in 2020. We have to have a much more sophisticated strategy when it comes to the marketing of your business online. But today we're helping you with tap into all the resources that you have on your mobile phone. So here we've got a picture of the lovely Bud and the lovely Lisa, who are our models and demonstrators for today on how to be able to use all your videos properly. So the problem with this presentation is there's quite a lot of video in it, but I'm not going to be able to play all of the video because of the fact that I can't press play unless I just press play for those people who are in the Zoom group. No, I'm not going to risk it. Let's go. Okay, so all you need basically is a mobile phone, a slide, and then you can use all the different tools in your mobile phone, like, for example, slideshow, carousel, video, and canvas as well. And if you want to be super sophisticated, you can use what they beautifully call in America a jobby. Yeah, that thing that holds your mobile phone. There's a brand in America that's become really, really famous called a jobby. And unfortunately, I don't think they've ever spoken to any Scottish person because that's not what we would call a jobby, right? So I'm sure that's got other kinds of names to it, but that's become known in America as the jobby for your mobile phone. There you go. So this slide has got lots and lots of videos happening. So on this one, you can see under normal circumstances, it would have a lot of videos happening, but because we can't press play for the full screen, we can't see them. So I'm gonna have to describe to you what all these videos are doing. So here's a video of a guy who's looking all kinds of suave and sophisticated, but in his glasses, you can see that there's a video of him watching TV, and he's watching a whole bunch of numbers going up on his screen. For this one, the numbers are coming up and down on their hair, natural, fierce, and wild. For these ones, these images are going in and out like kaleidoscopic type of images, right? You know how when you were a kid, you had that kaleidoscope and you would adjust it and you could see everything going in and out and all the different shapes changing. So these are the images that are happening for this fishmonger. And this is them being very, very creative on how to be able to display their fish online. And then a whole bunch of other ideas about what you could be doing on your mobile phone to get all kinds of creative. All right. So people consume content differently on mobile. So it depends on what you're going to be using. If you're using your mobile feed, then the only stuff that you're going to see coming up on your mobile feed is the stuff that you normally engage with frequently, that you have a strong connection with, and that content will normally come up with the sound off. What that means is, if you have not been putting up any content in the last 7 days, for example, or even a month, then most of the fans that you have on your Facebook page are probably pretty much dead, and the algorithms will not try and revive them very much. Whereas if you're putting up regular content, and I'm not talking about crazy amount, I'm talking about once or twice a week type thing, but that content is maybe video and you're fairly frequent, then people are actually going to have a better chance of seeing it. But however, the video will be off when they actually see it coming up in their mobile. They will have to click in order to listen to the audio. So you must think about putting your video together in a way that allows people to experience your message with the sound off, and then when they click to hear the sound, then they're going to get a much more amplified version of what your message is. So when you're creating that content, aim to create something which is sound off, but you will get the magical effect when they click through. And of course, the magical effect is also the fact that the algorithms are telling the Facebook that this is quality content because of the fact that people have decided that they want to listen to it. You get me? So every time people are taking an action, that is indication that this is quality content. And then it will be shown to more and more people, okay? So 75% of all mobile data will be video by 2020. This is what Facebook declared back in 2016, where we all thought it was pretty crazy. They also had the strategy where they were going to go toe-to-toe with YouTube to make sure that they were the platform. Facebook was going to be the platform by 2021, was their challenge, where people watched more video. So you can see already they've hit their target. 75% of people are now watching video on mobile phones. And what that means is, if you put up an image on your mobile phone, it's going to have a certain level of impact. But if you put up a video on the mobile phone for your marketing, putting it out on to make sure that people are seeing it, then Facebook is going to clasp you unto their bosom with hoops of steel, basically, because they want to be able to make sure all the content is video, and therefore if you're helping them achieve their objectives, they're going to reward you with a huge amount of reach accordingly. So basically what FemWitchLily.com is telling you is you really, really, really need to think about a video strategy in order to make your content soar. And I have to say, hands up, you know, I'm not particularly brilliant at doing all the video marketing that I should be. It's too easy to tell my team, okay, I need this piece of content sent out, this piece of content sent out. It wouldn't take me 5 minutes to get in front of the phone and tell everybody this is what's coming up. But so far I haven't managed to do it as well. So, you know, I'm just as guilty as anyone. So if we could all help each other to get more video, to get more real online. It's gonna massively help our businesses as well. Okay, so always think about a video strategy. So the question is, what is good mobile content? And the answer is, it's got to be thumb stopping. And here we've got a couple of videos that show you that this is not just an image, but it's a moving image. It's animation, it's video, where you're seeing the socks, but you've got different backgrounds, and then the socks are changing color as well. And on the right-hand side, you see the diamond ring, you see in all different kinds of guises, and then you see actually somebody putting it on as well. So I'm just letting Erica into the room as well. It's got to be visually exciting. It's got to have a simple animation. You can capture the attention early, and it shows how you can use the product or service in an interesting way. So you all know how captivating it can be on Facebook. When you go on for 2 minutes just to catch up with your friends and family, and you find yourself gone down the rabbit hole because more people have found captivating and interesting content for you. That's okay, Erica. Erica's apologizing for being late. Don't worry about it. We just got started because guess what? We had another week of crazy tech problems. So we've decided pretty much to cancel everything on Facebook Live and put everybody into the Zoom now because we cannot, for some reason, we just can't get it working on Facebook Live on a Friday afternoon. However, we did do the interviews yesterday on Thursday for a change, just to see how it was going to go. And that worked beautifully. So I might have to look at, you know, moving away from Friday afternoons just because of the fact that it seems to be like a major tech meltdown every single week. Anyway, so back to the presentation. You have to think about being thumb stopping, not just brilliant, but thumb stopping. As soon as you stop people scrolling past your content, then that means you're giving signs to the algorithms, this is good content. As soon as you get them to stop on their scroll past, you are working magic on the algorithms. All right, so you have to think about it in terms of it's built for mobile. So think about the fact that it's got to be actually, you know, vertical in some way. You know, if you build it so that it's a horizontal kind of experience, you're not going to be making the most of the screen. Another thing to think about is you've got to keep your videos short often, less than 15 seconds or less. And the reason for that is because when you want to be doing Facebook stories or Instagram stories, you've got a chance of getting that video out there and seen for a good 15 seconds. And then you can bring it down onto the newsfeed as well. So I'll back up a little bit and explain that better. If you're creating content for Facebook stories or Instagram stories, then it's easy to use all the creative tools within the stories dashboard, okay? When you're creating content on your normal newsfeed, like on the normal newsfeed here, then it's just going to be basic kind of content. But if you use the Instagram stories, if you go into the Facebook stories, they've got a whole heap of new tools that you can play with that I would strongly recommend that you start getting busy using. Dive in and start playing with some of that stuff, because the reality is when you use Instagram stories in particular, you'll see a crazy lift in the level of engagement that you've got going on with people. So frame it square or vertical, but don't do it horizontal, basically. So don't think that it's gonna be seen on YouTube. So if you're trying to film stuff like that, it's just not gonna come out very well. Always try and be filming stuff like that. If you're gonna be filming yourself talking in your mobile phone, always have it like this as opposed to here. But if you're gonna be on YouTube, it's gotta be like this, basically, horizontal. So always make sure you're inspiring action as well. When it comes to marketing, you always got to elicit some kind of action, and you can't be subtle about it. Everything which is marketing is about getting people to take action or getting people to change their perspective in some way. So if you do something which is like reporting which a lot of traditional marketers would do, or interruption marketers would do, then they're basically not doing social media marketing, because social media marketing is about getting people to take an action. And the only way you can get people to take an action is to have a strong call to action. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be getting people to make a purchase right now, but you can actually get them to click, you can get them to share, you can get them to download, you can get them to check out the website, etc., etc. So always have the end in mind when you're creating your content. Whatever content you're creating, always think, what am I going to get people to do if it's not going to be go and purchase this right now, okay? So nobody's going to go and purchase anything unless they know, like, and trust you. So in order to get those people to know, like, and trust you, you got to get them involved and engaged and the relationship building, etc., etc. So all that content that you're putting up has got to be video or some kind of animation or some kind of carousel. It's got to be very engaging, and you have to have a strong call to action to make it qualify as a marketing piece as opposed to a reporting piece. And then design for the sound off and delight with the sound on. And these are two videos that you would normally be able to see, but because of technology, we can't show you them today. Then it's make sure that it's totally relevant to your audience. So these are videos which are from, I can't remember what they're called. It's a fast food chain of some description anyway. And this video on the left-hand side is a very kind of kid-friendly version of why you need to come and buy these pretzels. And then this video is a more adult version, a bit more sophisticated as to why they need to come and buy the pretzels, really. So build the right message for the right people, and that's called targeting. Okay? So there are two parts to making the most of your mobile phone. There's the planning part, and then there's the creating part. There's another part which is called the targeting as well, but we're not going to be covering that today. That's in another presentation where we're talking about how to actually build those ads to make sure it's put in front of the right people. But today we're talking about just getting that creative part right, which is all about the planning and the creation. So let's get started with talking about the planning. And the trick to planning, as with most planning, whether it's mobile phone creativity for social media, is you start with what you know better than anyone else. And that tends to be your business. With this particular training module here that you've got, there's also a worksheet available. So if you want me to send you a worksheet, just leave me a message in the Facebook group below where we have the aborted video in there. And then I'll just send you straight out this a brief template where you can fill out all the information and start building your plan for what kind of content you're going to be doing on your mobile phone or for your business. We've got a question coming in from Isabel. She says, I would love that template planner, no problem. I will send that out to you. Just put your name, and in fact, you'd probably be better to message me on Facebook Messenger. So do a DM, direct message me with your email, and that way I can make sure it gets out to you. Yeah, because I only want to give it to those people who are turning up and persisting despite all the technical problems. So for those people who didn't turn up, they don't get to have the template planner. Only the people that have actually turned up, and they're my special people. You are my special people today. You have persisted despite all the technical problems we've had. Okay, thanks very much, Isabel. All right, so targeting the right audience. Oops, come back here. You need to think about defining your audience and what matters to them. When we start working with any business, one of the first things we do is a big, old, in-depth understanding of who the buyer is, what's influencing, what's keeping them up at night, what do they fret about, what are their big problems and issues, in what way is your product or service solving that problem? You know, in what way are you the balm to their eczema? In what way are you the champagne to their sad day? In what way are you the therapist to their mental health crisis during Corona? You know, what is the pain? You have to define what the pain is that people are suffering from, and then be able to define how you, in particular, your business, is going to be able to help solve that for them. So you need to have a really, really strong understanding of who that person is, and not a generalistic perspective. Those days of being generalistic of, I want to be able to target all women aged between 20 and 65 who live in Scotland, is just not going to work anymore. You have to be a whole lot more targeted than that, because if you try and put an ad together, never mind a piece of creative, it's just going to require a ton of money to get out to all of those people. Whereas if you say, okay, my target audience is women between 35 and 55 who have a degree and who are mad on gardening and who read Marie Claire and the Times, for example, then you consist, and they're called Diana, right? Let's call them Diana. Then you always speak to Diana through your marketing in exactly the same way that Diana wants to be spoken to. So if Diana is quite cutty and potty mouth, then you're going to be down and real and be a bit of a badass in your marketing to Diana. If you have configured Diana to be more of a kind of private school, preppy, kind of, what's the word? Karen. Have you ever come across the meme called Karen online? There's this kind of meme that's going around on social media at the moment called, "Are you a Karen?" or "Who brought the Karen?" So the definition of a Karen is somebody who's very entitled and very privileged and is always asking for the manager because the customer service is not good enough. So if you have defined your avatar as somebody who's a bit of a Karen in the nicest possible way, then you need to be able to put your marketing together in a way that's going to satisfy Karen. That's not just how you use words, how you use language and your call to action, but it's how you're going to use that video. So define your audience very, very tightly, because it's going to matter. Because if you try and put all that bland content out there, whether it's video or words, then you're trying to speak to everybody, and essentially you're going to be speaking to nobody, because that kind of bland talk goes right over the head of people that you're not targeting very well. So design always with your customer in mind. Be clear and concise. Share the benefits, not just the features, and inspire them to act. And one of the reasons why it's so crucial to think about the benefits is because most people buy the benefits, not the features. But most businesses want to focus on the features and not the benefits. An example of that is when people are selling cars. A lot of people want to sell the cars by saying, okay, it's got a catalytic converter, it can do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, or however much, and it's red, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is people want to buy it because of the benefits. You know, it's gonna make my neighbor's face go green when he sees or she sees me driving up like that. You know, it's all these kind of emotional intangibles. That's the thing that they're prepared to put a whole ton of cash into, because they know of the emotional reaction that they're going to get from people around them. Even if they say to themselves, yeah, this is just an A to B kind of experience. No. Because if it was just an A to B experience, they would be buying like one of those, like, I don't know, what those crappy brands, you know, and like an old-fashioned, like really ancient car. That would be the A to B experience. But no, everybody's got some kind of level of sensitivity and emotional message that they're putting out there. So make sure you share the benefits, not just the features. All right, so targeting on Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but we're not going to do too much about it, because this is a module all about creativity and building that creativity. But the essential parts are, you can target people who are your core audiences, who are going to be based on interest. You can target people who are fans of the kind of things that you sell, whose behaviors you can understand, the demographics, the gender, and the age. You can target custom audiences. So the custom audiences might be people who have been on your Facebook page or interacted on your Facebook page in the last 365 days. Another custom audience might be somebody who's been on your website in the last year, depending on whether you've got a Facebook pixel set up. If you don't have a Facebook pixel set up on your website, you're not going to be able to target a custom audience. But basically, you should be able to have your pixel set up. So therefore, every single time somebody goes on your website, that's firing off a notification to Facebook to say that we're getting a lot of website traffic. Therefore, we're going to send them a little message from Facebook as well. You can also have a custom audience where you have all your database, which has been used as an ad, for example, and you can target all those people who are on your database. And all those people on your database, you've got your emails there, you feed them into Facebook, and then send to Facebook, okay, I want all those people to see a particular message I want to send them. Similarly, going back to the core audiences as well, you can target all of your competitors' fans as well. You could even target everybody who's a fan of The Times or Marie Claire, for example. So I don't really understand, well, I mean, I do. There's one reason for buying ads inside of Marie Claire. You know, obviously, if you wanted to make sure that you're featured on Marie Claire, you know, you can do it as a PR, or you can do it as paying for ad space inside of Marie Claire. But also, you can make sure that you set up an ad which targets all those people who are fans of Marie Claire, who are aged between 35 and 45, and who live within 10 miles of your store, of your shop, for example. So there's all kinds of ways of getting in touch with all the fans of Marie Claire. And that's just one example of getting all kinds of PR interest as well. Okay, so you've got the custom audiences, and then you've got the lookalike audiences. So you can say to Facebook, okay, see that list of all those people that have been on my website in the last year? I'd like you to help me set up an ad that's going to be shown to those people, but I would also like a lookalike audience. That means Facebook's going to look at the demographic profile of all those people that have looked at your website, and then give you exactly another audience with pretty much the same profile as that. So they give you basically 2 for 1. Again, if you put your email database into a Facebook ad and ask also for a lookalike audience, maybe you've got 600, maybe you've got 6,000 people on your database, Facebook's going to give you almost double the same people, not the same people, but similar lookalike people to target as well. So that is the power of the Facebook and Instagram marketing. Do not think about just posting on social media, because that's called social media publishing. It's not marketing. Marketing is making sure that your message is getting right in front of those people in a way that is going to be influential, persuasive, and even entertaining. Okay, so let's get cracking, get back onto the creative part. We need to translate your brief into content. So you need to think about engaging content, sharing the story of your business and how it got started. You know, these are all kinds of good ideas that you can think about for creating content, because most people don't know anything about business, your business. They're always interested in the why. You know, how did you set it up? Why did you set it up? Did you come across a bad situation? Did you decide I'm never going to have this situation happen again? You know, what was the drama? We want to hear all these narrative stories, because the reality is, don't get confused with traditional marketing and advertising. Traditional marketing and advertising says, okay, here's an image and here's my message about my image. You know, that is traditional marketing. Whereas social media, you need to have a whole bunch of different narratives going on to feed the engagement beast. So you can't just think, if you just think narrowly in terms of, well, here's a couple of posts that I can talk about, and you're going to pump and dump, you know, you're just going to throw that stuff out there, schedule it out there. It's just not strong enough. We need the narrative. We need the stories behind everything. So share the story of how your business got started, and you can have ideas of how you're giving back to the community. You know, what are you doing at the moment during Corona? Is there something interesting about your business or you yourself as a person that you're doing during the time of Corona? Let's hear about it. You know, people want to give massive thumbs up. In fact, just before we went live today, there was a woman from Google herself, who came into the group and has asked if anybody's got some good news stories about how they've used Google to turn their business around during the time of Corona. They're putting together an ad campaign right now, paid for by Google, and they're looking for small business stories, okay? So get in there, go and have a look in the Facebook group, and get back to her. She's looking for real stories of how businesses are doing good stuff right now during the Corona and turning their businesses around as well. We want to show off your shop front or place of business with a virtual tour using photos or videos. We want to be able to educate them as well. You can explain what makes your product or service different or special. We want to show behind the scenes at your shop or business. We want to show how to use your product or service. We want to be able to also excite them, announce a new product or service is going to be launched, share upcoming or current promotions or sales, announcing events. You know, everybody wants to be that person that discovered this particular company at a moment when they were just getting going on social media, and then there was all kinds of excitement, the flurry of this, and this was happening and that's happening. And you're bringing your community with you as you're growing in a business. If you can do that kind of thing, you're really kicking off. Personally, I find that all these stories about people who are running their business from home is fantastic. As anybody who saw right at the beginning of this presentation, I was having all kinds of dramas because I sat down and realized that I didn't have my mobile phone with me because my daughter had pinched it for me before I went live. So I had to go and run around the house trying to retrieve the mobile phone and the charger as well. All right, so keep everybody on board with the education and the excitement and engaging with what's happening. Yeah, Gordana is asking if there's going to be a recording. Yes, there's definitely a recording of this. We are recording right now. Okay. And the good thing is when you start putting your content together using the ads, go into the ads manager or even go into the ads center, and you're going to find a whole different ways of putting the content together. Because even if you've got a couple of images, basically there's a function within Facebook Ad Center or Ads Manager which says, okay, upload a couple of these images and we'll turn it into a video for you. All right, now this would actually be a video that shows you what it would be like, because there's a template there. There's a whole series of templates that you can use within the Ad Center or within the Ads Manager, which helps you to turn your images into videos or animation. Okay, so we've got a question from Cordana. Will there, I missed bits and bobs and would like to watch it again on my laptop. No problem. Yes, I will be putting this up. So we've got about 3 or 4 different videos to be editing and putting together this afternoon, but hopefully it'll be up this afternoon. If not, it'll be up on Monday. Okay, Gordana? Good to see you. So at this point, I would normally be able to play this video that shows you the template that's available. Right. So I'm talking about the Ad Center and the Ads Manager. I don't want to bamboozle people with all the differences, but the Ad Center is kind of what Facebook regards as for the amateurs, okay? The Ad Center is basically where people do the boost posting stuff, you know? So when you're doing that boost post, where basically you put your post together and then you click on boost. So that all happens within the Ad Center. And this is where Facebook says, okay, small businesses are going to find it really, really easy to actually be able to communicate with their audiences, blah, blah, blah. So that's a very, very simple way to use the ads process, but it's not the most effective way. If you want to be more effective, then you have to use the Ads Manager, and then you get access to a whole heap of new devices and targeting and things like that. But it's a lot more complicated, and people are not mad fans of it. So just to get started I'm going to accept that you're going to have to get started with the concepts of ads and advertising by using the Ad Center. That is boosting the posts or just creating the posts that are going to be turned into videos using the Ads Center. Okay, I don't want to get too caught in the details for now, because this is a presentation all about creativity. So here is the video, which is all about excitement, which is announcing a new location, and it's got a strong call to action, and it's designed with the customer in mind, but we're not going to be able to play it. Okay, so that's the basic kind of planning principle before you actually get into the visual creativity of it. So let's get into the creative part. So you have to choose a format, all right? So on Facebook, these are all sponsored posts, as you can see. So that means these are ads. Somebody's put a bit of coin together in order to make sure it's actually being seen by prospects, not by friends and family, which is normally what gets the engagement going with your Facebook page without the ads. So this would normally be a video which shows you all the different kind of socks, and basically it kind of flashes by in a video, and then it's got the call to action of shop now. This one also has a shop now. So it's basically a kind of animated video with those socks changing colors, and it's speeded up into a kind of slideshow as well. And then you can use the videos. So this is the world's first shakes designed for Instagram, and that's a video of the particular milkshakes as well. And then you can click shop now. And then this one is a particularly lovely carousel. Now, the carousel posts are extremely important to be able to play with as well. So I don't want anybody ever more to be using any kind of normal posting, i.e. one image per post. I want you to think of minimum, it's got to be a carousel. A carousel is 2, 3, or up to 10 images per post. So the idea is people are looking at that post and they're scrolling through on the different images that are related to that particular post. And under each image, as you can see here, you can have a different message as well. And ultimately, you can show all the different kind of dresses or flowers or testimonials that people have given, or all different kinds of messages coming up on the carousel. So basically, it's a way that people can be a lot more interactive and engaging. And remember, as I said repeatedly, the more you get people to do stuff, the more it's sending a message to the algorithms that this stuff is quality. And then here you've got a video of Instagram stories, and it's a boomerang. You can set up a boomerang inside of Instagram stories. You just go in there, you hold your phone up like this, you click on boomerang, hold it down, and then just move your head a little bit, and then basically it works like that. It sounds really, really, really stupid, but I swear to God, it's so effective, it's not even funny. So go and get into Instagram stories and start playing around with doing some boomerangs. And most importantly, go and have a look at what your competitors are doing. Not necessarily local competitors, but they could be international competitors who are targeting a similar type of audience, and be inspired by some of the tactics that they're using. And then make sure you're framing it right. So you can frame it for 16 by 9, but it's only going to be taking up, a small kind of quarter of your mobile phone. If you set it up for square, then that means basically it's been set up for Instagram, but it's on Facebook, it's not going to come up as the whole image. Whereas if you set it up as a vertical, it's going to take up pretty much the entire real estate, marketing real estate of your mobile phone. Okay, let's dive into creating some mobile content. This is annoying because these are all videos which are moving images, and it's showing the difference between actually having a still image and a moving image. It just tends to be a lot more captivating, and rather than having people scrolling through, it basically gets you to go sit looking at it as the videos kind of and the animations evolve. So this video is a very cute one where the woman has got a different dress on, and she's got a different background going on, and it's like a 30-second video basically. So it's really quick, really easy to make, and it's built with a Photoshop mix combined with Facebook slideshow. All right, so this, you know what, I'm just gonna be really bad. I'm gonna play this. If there's a problem with connectivity, shout and tell me it's not working. But I'm gonna press play because it's very difficult to explain this unless you actually see it. I'm gonna press play. Shout at me if it's nothing's, if you're getting a black screen again. Everybody okay with that? We saw that? We good? All right. So basically that's a good, I'm getting nervous in case we've lost connection again. But you can see that the woman was changing her dress all the time, and the backgrounds were changing. And that stuff is really, really easy to set up on your mobile phone. And so here's the demonstration on how to actually get it set up using Adobe Photoshop. And at the end of this particular presentation, there's a whole ream of different apps that you could be using in order to enhance your creativity on mobile. So I'll share that with you at the end. So here's how you use Adobe Photoshop Mix. So you can see it's a fast video showing you the basic principles about it. But if you want to actually start playing around with Adobe Photoshop Mix, I recommend that you go into the App Store or into the Google Store on your phone, download Adobe Photoshop Mix, and then go to YouTube and find some how-to videos on Adobe Photoshop Mix, because this is a very speeded up version of actually how to put all that together and then integrate it into a Facebook slideshow. All right, you got me? So I hope you managed to catch all of that information, but you'll be able to see it all on the replay as well. Okay, so we're not getting any alarm bells going off about people losing connections, so let's carry on. You can also make sure that these images come to life by being a lot more creative with things like layout. So if you go into Instagram, for example, and you put up an image, but you can click on the layout button and then change around the layout. You can make it mirror, you can make it reflect, you can make it diagonal. Then you can have all kinds of fun. So you can see here, it's got a demonstration. You shoot on the phone, you edit in layout, and then you either create a mirror image or flip image or put some borders on it, and off you go. And then you've got the magical video experience. What? It's true. And that's all with fish. So this is how somebody was able to say, okay, I don't have any budget at all, but I'm going to go crazy with my love of fish. I'm going to be very creative with how I put those images together. I'm not just taking a picture of a fish, and then I'm going to make that into some kind of video. They put that up over to social media, and the result was mayhem because of that creativity. So that's the thing, you know, you might be selling something you might think is particularly bland or boring, but if you can get into a room with a bunch of mates and brainstorm some wacky ideas or some inspiring ideas, depending, you know, it's always going to be brand appropriate, that's going to inspire people, then get in there and do it, because you're only limited by the extent of your creativity. As a result of this particular campaign, they had 90% of the shop revenue coming from Facebook views alone. They had a 4-hour queue going all the way around the block. And that's how crazy things can go. Then you could turn static into motion using things like apps called Mojo. And these are videos that are built specifically for Facebook stories or Instagram stories. So have a look at this. This is Mojo. So you're turning some perfectly decent shoes into a much more animated experience. And remember, if you're selling any kind of product, even if it's photography, even if it's shoes, even if it's any particular product whatsoever, if you can put some kind of human involved in that story, then you're adding to the narrative, right? So always think about putting a human into that product description. So get in there and start creating your videos using Mojo, okay? So now they're giving you a demonstration of how to use Mojo. What I would recommend is that you download Mojo onto your mobile phone, go to YouTube and check out how to use Mojo, and you'll come up with a whole bunch of ideas from Mojo themselves. Go and check out the YouTube channel of Mojo, as well as people who have come up with creative ways of using Mojo on YouTube. Okay, so that's basically the demonstration going on there of how to actually make sure you're creating that fantastic animated video using Mojo and Instagram. Then you can tell stories with the photos. So this particular photo has been created by an app called Unfold. Now Unfold is really, really fun to use. I would recommend you download that one and get used to playing around with it, just the same as the other apps we've been talking about as well. So download Unfold, get busy choosing the different layouts that you might want to use, upload some of your photos onto those particular layouts, double tap to add your particular description, change the font to the font that is appropriate for your business, save to camera roll, et voila! And then you upload it to Instagram or Facebook, depending on whatever dimensions you are using, okay? So that's another app that you want to use. Okay, so your homework. So that's given you a couple of ideas of what you could be doing in terms of turning your average photo or average experience for your customer into something a lot more dynamic. And here are all the apps that Facebook and Instagram are recommending that you dive into in order to make sure that you are making the most of your creativity. So that's everything from Adobe Photoshop Mix, Adobe Spark Post, Unfold, Ripple, Plotaverse, Facebook Ads Manager, obviously, Video Shop, Mojo, Quick, Boomerang, and Instagram Stories. And if you want to find out more, go and check out facebook.me/mobile studio. And come on, don't freeze now. It'll be just our luck, just as we're coming to the end, it decides it wants to freeze. Okay, I'm going to reduce. Right, it's making some strange noises. I'm not convinced we are safe. Anyway, we've come to the end of the presentation, so that's pretty much it. And I'm going to be able to put this up on in the Facebook group as well as a YouTube video, so you can click on the link and watch it again. I hope to be able to do that this afternoon with my team. If not, it'll be Monday morning. For those people who are live with us today, you can DM me on Facebook, and I will send you, DM me with your email, and then I will send you the worksheet as well to go with this particular presentation. So, based on the fact that it's 13:38 and we had about a 10-minute tech problem at the beginning, I think we done okay. We managed to get to the end of it. I hope it's been useful for you. Next week, we've got some amazing guests coming up on She Means Business Scotland. We've got Jin Lally, who's a professional psychiatrist, who's going to help you with all kinds of ways to cope with the corona. And her topic is, I'm the type of therapist that you don't need to tell me what your problem is. So I'm very curious to find out what that is. We also have the new chair of the Scottish 5G Centre, and her position has not even been announced yet. That's coming up on Monday. That's going to be announced. But we have got a sneak preview. We're going to be talking to her on the next She Means Business show, and that is on Thursday, everybody. It's on Thursday because we're trying to move away from the Friday afternoon tech nightmare place, okay? So it's Thursday at lunchtime, 12:30. Jen Lally and the woman from Scottish 5G Centre. She wants to be able to debunk all the myths that are going around to do with 5G. She's a tech person herself, and to be able to help you understand what are the benefits of 5G. And for our third guest, we have the amazing Nikki Simpson, who is head of the Institute of Magazine Publishing. And she's going to be talking about the lack of ethnic minorities in magazine publishing. So it's going to be an amazing show. So that's 12:30 on Thursday. So I hope to see you there back here on Zoom. We're going to make sure all the focus is on Zoom. So come back on Zoom, because as you know, Facebook Live can be so unreliable at the moment. So I hope to see you soon, everybody. Let me know if you want to have a copy of the worksheet, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, the bank holiday and everything like that. Have some fun, enjoy the sunshine and the terrible weather that's supposed to be coming tomorrow. Anyway, okay, see you later, guys. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.